Alright, in this video we're going to talk about functions and events, which are two really important aspects of JavaScript. So we'll start out with functions. A function is just a block of code that you can name and you can call whenever you want. Alright, so let's start out with something very simple. We'll create a function called sayHello. So notice that we use the keyword function and then we name it whatever we want. In this case, say hello, and then we need to put parentheses and then some curly braces. Now the function, the tasks, or what you want to execute go within the curly braces. So let's just do console. Actually, we'll do an alert. So we'll just say alert hello. Okay, now if I save this and I reload the page, nothing's going to happen because all we have done is declared it. We haven't actually ran it. So to run it, we can just say hello, and you need to include the parentheses as well. So now if we reload, we get an article box here that says hello. Alright, now we can also have parameters in functions. So I'm going to just comment this out. And let's do the same thing. We'll say hello. And this time we're going to pass in a parameter, and this is going to be, we'll call it greeting. Okay, of course you can call it anything you'd want. And then we'll just do console.log, or alert rather, greeting. So essentially whatever you put in here is going to alert. So when we have our say hello down here, let's throw in a string. Okay, remember strings you need to use quotes, either double or single. And we'll say hello world. So we reload and you can see we get hello world. Now we're not limited to just one parameter. We can have as many as we want. Let's say we want a name, and then what we'll do here is we'll alert, we'll say greeting, and then we'll concatenate a space, and then we'll have the name. Okay, and then down here, let's say we want hello for the greeting, put a comma in, and then the name, we'll say Jane. So now if we reload, we get hello Jane. Okay, now let's say that we only include one parameter here, even though it takes two, we get hello undefined. Alright, so a good thing to do in this situation would be to assign a default parameter, assign a default value to this parameter name. Okay, so let's say by default we want it to be Jeff, so we could just say equals and then whatever we want, in this case Jeff. So now if we reload, we get hello Jeff. Alright, now I'm gonna comment this stuff out, and then we're gonna create another function and we'll call it getSum, and that's gonna take in two values, two integers. We'll say A and B. And then all we want to do down here, let's say alert A plus B. And then we can say getSum. And in here, let's pass in 4 and 5. So you probably know what's going to happen. We're going to get 9. Now, when you're using functions, sometimes you want to use the value that's returned in something else. So let's say we want to store this in a variable. Say var sum equals getSum for 5. Alright, and then let's do console.log sum. Okay, and if I open up my console with F12, reload, you can see it's still alerting because that's what the function's doing. What we want to do is we want to return the value. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that and these parentheses, and we're going to say return A plus B. Reload, and now you can see we get 9. And we can do what we want with this. We could say, we could put a string here and say the answer is, and then we can concatenate that sum just like that. Or of course we could just take this and stick that right in there. We don't even need the variable. Alright, so that's how you can return values from functions. So the next thing I want to do is show you how to use events. Alright, so we're going to go up into the body here in the HTML, and let's put a button. And for the text, let's say get date. Okay, so what we want to happen is we want to be able to click this button and then have it display the date for us. And the event we want to use is onClick. So right in here we can say onClick equals, and we could even put JavaScript right in here. For instance, we can say alert 1 2 3. Okay, so now if I click this, we get an alert with 1 2 3. But this is very bad practice. You don't want to use inline JavaScript like this. So what we would do is call a function here. Let's say get date, and then down in the script, I'm just going to comment this stuff out. Down in the script, we'll create a function called get date, and let's do alert 456. So now if I go and click that, we get an alert with 456. Okay, so getting the date is very easy in JavaScript. We can create a variable, let's call it D, and we'll set it to new date. Okay, and then if we go ahead and we alert D, click that, and you can see we get the date and time. Okay, a long string that gives us the full date and time, and even the time zone. Okay, so with get date, there's a number of methods we can use with it to format it. So let's say we want to get the day as a number. So we could say d dot get date. Okay, if we go ahead, now you can see we get 25. Okay, because today's August 25th. There's also get day. If we want to say get day, reload, click it, and we get 4. Okay. And that's because it's Thursday. Now I'm going to paste all the different methods that you can use with this date, and I'm just going to put that right in here in the comments. Okay, so you can use any of these, and you can format the date however you'd like. Alright, but we're just going to get rid of this and just keep the D, but instead of alert, let's put it in the web page. Okay, so right underneath it we'll say div ID, and let's give it an ID of show date. Actually, let's make it an H1. And then down here, we'll say document dot get element by ID, show date dot inner HTML equals D. So now when I click it, you can see that the date now shows up in the web page. Now as far as events go, there are quite a few. This is onClick. We can also do on mouse over. So if I reload and then I just go over the button without even clicking it, you see that that event fires. Okay, we also have on mouse out. So that's when you leave the element. So I'm going to go in, I'm hovering over it. When I leave, that's when it fires off. Okay, we also have on double click, or on, I believe it's, yeah, DBL click. Whoops. So now reload, if I click once, nothing happens. Double click, and you can see the event fires. Now we also have quite a few events for forms. So I'm going to create a really simple form. So I'm actually going to paste it in. So very simple form, we just have a name, email, and what we can do here is we can add to the form tag an onSubmit event handler. Okay, so when we submit, we'll call a function called formSubmit, or let's say submit form. And then down here, we'll go ahead and create that. and let's do an alert, and we'll just say form submitted. Now if I reload and I go ahead and click submit, we get form submitted. Now usually you want to get the values that you put in the input box, so that's actually really easy to do. So what we'll do is we'll say, let's create a variable name, set it to document.getElementById, and then we don't have an ID. Oh yeah, we do. Okay, so we have ID name and ID email. So in here we'll put name. Now just this isn't going to get the value. You actually have to add .value to be able to get that. Alright, and then I'm going to copy this and we'll put the same for the email. Okay, and then let's do alert and we'll say name. Actually, let's say, yeah, we'll just say name. So reload, type in John Doe, something for email, submit, and you can see we get John Doe. If we want to get the email, we could also do that. Submit, and it gives us the email. Now, even though we can just go ahead and put on submit equals submit form, there's a better way to do this, and that's to use an event listener. So you set up an event listener to do just that, listen for an event on a certain object, all right, or a certain element. So I'm going to get rid of this, and we're going to give this form, we're going to give it an ID of, let's say, my form. All right, and this cleans things up. It allows us to just keep our HTML and JavaScript completely separate. All right, so we have an ID of my form, and then we're going to go down here, and we're going to say document.getElementById, and we'll pass in my form. And what we want to do is say .add event listener. Okay, and then we're going to pass in here the event, which in this case is going to be submit, not on submit, but submit. And then the function that we want to run, submit form, and false. Okay, you can put some options in, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so we have this event listener. When the form with the ID of my form is submitted, it's going to call submit form. So we should get the same result. Submit, and you can see we get our alert. All right, now let's say we don't want to alert, we want to console.log, submit, and you'll see that it's not logging anything down here. All right, that's because the form is actually submitting, and we don't want that. So we can prevent that by passing in an event parameter here, and then we'll say e.prevent default. Okay, and that's going to prevent the default behavior of the form. So if I reload now and we put something in here and submit, you can see that it's now being caught down here and the form's not actually submitting. Alright, and when I say not submitting, I mean it's not submitting to the web page. Now before we go, I just want to give you some examples of a couple other events, okay, for forms. So we have one called onBlur. So let's say onBlur, actually it should be lowercase, equals, and I would suggest in production not doing this. I would suggest doing the add event listener, but just for simplicity, we're going to do this. So let's just say we have a function called test. So down here we'll say function test and alert, and we'll just say blur. Okay, so what that means is that when we click inside and then we click outside of the input, that's the blur event. Okay, click in, click out. Well, it's not on the name, but I mean it's not on the email, but that's what the on blur is. Okay, at the same time we have on focus, which is the opposite. It's when you enter it. So let's say on focus. reload, and when I click in the form now, you can see that it's saying blur, but it's actually focus. Reload, and we get focus. And then I'm just going to paste in up here some of the other ones. So there's on change when the input changes, on select if you're using a select list, reset if you reset the form, on key down, on key up, and on key press. We also have on load, which can be assigned to any element, and a lot of times it'll be on the body. So if we say on load equals, and we had a function called init, and then down here we'll say function init, and let's say we'll just do console log page loaded. Okay, reload, and you see we get page loaded. Alright, so that's going to be it for now. In the next video, we're going to kind of continue on this with the forms. I want to create a simple form. We'll use Bootstrap, make it look nice, and I'll show you how to do some validation using JavaScript.